Heading off now. Been very foggy this morning, delayed by about 2 hours.
It's been our pleasure to have you on board today. We look forward to flying with you next time you choose to travel. If you're visiting Alice Springs, we hope you enjoy your stay, and of course to those returning.
How good is that? Day 1 of the Larapinta Trail, climbing to Mount Sonder, now heading to Alice Springs, which is that way, over that way. Bloody hot walking these couple of days. Forecast is fair in the 30s, which back in Adelaide would be very nice. Here when you're walking 15-20 k's a day, yeah, quite so good. We're getting there. I've just walked the section from Redbank's Gorge down to Rocky Bar, heading towards Hilltop for lunch over here, 11 k's. It's a hot day, so I've been carrying this chair. Finally get to use it. It feels good to sit down. This is just after Rocky Bar. Picked up the water. Now I've got quite a big climb to get to the top of Hilltop, where I'm camping tonight. The climb's half what I did yesterday to Mount Sonder, but today I'm carrying, I don't know, probably 25 kilos. Too much. The lighting's not the best, but that's Mount Sonder up close, and it's an Aboriginal pregnant woman. So we've got head up here, belly here, and boobs there. Beautiful countryside. Just be a whole lot more beautiful, wasn't it? 30 degrees plus. I think I'm camping somewhere over there tonight, about 2.5 k's away to go. Michelle said on this trip I'd have plenty of time for contemplation. Right at the moment, I'm just contemplating getting up this hill, which is, well, actually is behind me up there somewhere. But if you do get a chance to pause and have a breather, you know, it's pretty good. So this is Hilltop Lookout. Mount Sonder, sun about to go down. That's my setup. Now feels quite heavy to me. Beautiful light all around. Well, it's morning at Hilltop. Sun's not far from peeping over the hills where we're going to walk. This is why we camped up here. Well, day 3. So I feel good in the mornings, which is great. Lovely night last night, looking out over Mount Sonder, and it was a beautiful sunrise this morning. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good day. It'll be a long day, 20 k's today, but we're heading back over my shoulder that direction. Yesterday was a real hard slog. I think it was the heat. Still getting used to it. My pack needed a few adjustments. Lost a fair bit of weight, so therefore my pack, I couldn't take up the slack that I really needed to do, so the pack was sitting low on the waist. So yeah, it was hard work. It was also in the 30s, I reckon, low 30s, yeah, yesterday. But you know, today, new day, and chance to have another crack. And you know, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Tarzan Kenneth talking to the animals. These are switchbacks. Helps you climb up a mountain. But they're absolute bitch because they go on forever and backwards and forwards down there. Guess I did the same yesterday coming up. Check this section out. I think the theme that I'm picking up from the people walking the Larapinta Trail is the track makers weren't looking to make it an easy path, they were looking to make it an interesting path. So, you know, you've got some flat bits, but they'll take you up a hill because it actually looks better up there. I wonder whether that up there would be a waterfall. That would look spectacular, wouldn't it? Morning. Selfie when you're not taking a selfie. Stars bunches. Well, just had an amazing swim in that waterhole. It's absolutely cold, freezing, but beautiful. They had bushfires through this area, I think about 2 years ago. Would have been pretty lunar then. This is the Reliving River camp. Must be all that buffalo grass that everyone hates here. These sections through here are very beautiful in their own way, very plain. It's also quite hot out here, not much shade, so Luckily, got a beautiful little breeze behind me. Thanks, Mum and Margaret Edwards for their prayers. Let's keep it going. Maybe pray for a cool change to come a day early. That'd be really good. Going up the gorge over there. The entrance into Simpson Gorge. What an amazing hillway. Not far now. So leaving Simpson Gorge today. Today we climb another ridge and I'm hoping to camp at a spot called Hermit's Hideaway if there's space. Today you can't pick water up, so you've got to carry 2 days worth of water. So I think we've got about 8 litres of water at the moment. So that should be sufficient, maybe 9 actually. But it makes the pack fairly heavy, even though I ditched things like tents and cookers and clothes yesterday, just to buy me a bit more space. So here we go. How good is that? Where it's worth lugging this chair around the place. It's nice to see it. Just walk 6.5 k's and it's time for a break. A nice little shady spot. Some weird colours in the rocks here too. She's blowing a gale up here. It's going to sound terrible on the microphone. We hunker down there. Hopefully it won't get wet tonight, but at least I get a chance to see that. Sometimes shitty weather can give good results. So this is the view just above my camp. So I'm walking up to Serpentine Chalet today. It's lovely walking first thing in the morning. The track's fresh and clear. The sun hasn't had time to really beat down on yet, particularly this last few days when it's been hot. I guess then your body's feeling good too, isn't it? So you just feel like you're much stronger and able to do more first thing. So I always try and, if I can, crank up the speed a bit more. Obviously filming and walking on heavy rocks is not smart to be speeding. So this must be the Inca part of the trail. Look at this winding its way down around the spine of this ridge down the back. Be quite careful. This is the track running on top of the ridge. There's it down there. It's felt like a pretty good start of the day. Had a good sleep last night. That always makes it feel better. And it's just lovely, cool breeze with this cloud overhead. And supposed to get to close to 38 here today, but tomorrow it plunges back down to I think 3 degrees overnight and 20 degrees during the day. So that'll be pleasant walking weather, but chilly. But I'd rather be walking in the cold. But it's a cracker around here, that's for sure. This is that Hermit's Hideaway everyone talks about. There's a few nice big sites here. And there. And that's the view back down to Sonder, so that's pretty good. You just go to the side of the hill and just over that little edge there and you'd see that one. So no, it's a good site. I think I was a bit too buggered to get here last time, but it'd be a lovely area. I'm just waiting for the light to come and hit this tree because I reckon that'll be a cracking shot. Here's the side of the hill they're going down this morning. Just go straight down. Glad I wasn't climbing this yesterday. I'm now at Waterfall Gorge. And you can see why it's called that. That'd be a great waterfall. Obviously all the birds are loving it around here. That Waterfall Gorge area is like a little oasis. You can see why it's popular. It's hard to get into, eh? No easy access whatsoever. So, a beautiful little campsite at the base of those falls. So that's the end of the day. It's been a long one, but very nice. The final run into Serpentine Chalet Dam. End of the day. Light is looking beautiful on these rocks and these amazing ghost gums. Let's rotate through. Check out the cycad palms. The colour through here is just incredible. Indolenga Pass, that was awesome in there, absolutely awesome. No camping, so I'm wondering whether there's some like fairly strong Aboriginal significance there, but that was amazing. And just lucky that I came through towards the end of the day with the light hitting those rocks like they did. Very lucky. Up there, Aboriginal ochre pits. They would have mined them for trade and obviously ceremony. I'm assuming they don't want us up there, so I won't go there. I find a little sidewalk to the Serpentine Chalet Dam. There's a waterhole there. That must be the dam. I wonder why they built that. Other than to store water. There's the pool up behind the dam, but this funny crevasse thing at the back, it's just back out there, it's just amazing. It goes up a long way. And a couple of good ponds of water that are, you know, fresh with life that you could drink from, as long as it's filtered and all that sort of treated. Walkers don't need to, obviously. Some parts of the track are a bit more ho-hum, but I guess that makes it versatile or different. Got a shorter walking plan today, making my way to Counts Point. But also, description sounds amazing. Means I've got a longer day the next day, but I think it might be worth it. So we'll see. It's a windy path up, quite a hill to climb first before we get there. Some beautiful rock formations. You can see that path over there, down there. That's where the path goes. Look at these steps they've made. made up that big climb. It's much easier today. I think it must be getting used to it. And I'm heading up behind me up to Counts Point. And yeah, I've decided I'm going to stay there, I reckon. Well, this is Counts Point, where I was really aiming to camp. See if you think it's worth it. How's that for a view? All the way to Mount Sonder at the far end. All the way around. My campsite's nestled amongst those trees up there. More ranges there. But back to that valley view. Well, it's been another good day. I was here by myself initially, but I've now got two guys, Charlie and Nick, who rocked up, and but they're really nice, so it's nice to actually camp with someone near you too. But there you go, there's the background. And definitely no regrets in coming up here. It'll be a longer day tomorrow, but I think it's definitely been worth it. Day 7, and the pack's probably light it's going to be for a while. I picked up 5 days worth of food today at Serpentine Gorge, so it's going good. Weather's cooled down again. We're low of 3 this morning apparently. Sleeping bag and everything held up well, and felt warm, in fact too warm. And today high of 21, so that's perfect walking. So we're walking along a bit of a spine to start with, and then a big descent. So that's always bigger than an ascent. See the Larapinta in Australia. Serpentine Gorge up in there. Watch this. Or maybe listen to it. I should watch where I'm going. This is where you pick up your food drops, big shipping container. And I picked up food, has to last me until Stanley, Chasm, so that's 5 days worth of food. So yeah, it's about 6 kilos at least, maybe 7 kilos it feels like. Pack was feeling pretty good this morning. This is the junction to the new Ellie Creek North section, so I'm obviously taking off in that direction up there somewhere. As you can see what it's like. It's a slog come up through some of these creeks, but they do take you through some pretty cool spots. Climb up that little baby in a hurry with a backpack. So this is the start of that northern route. So it really takes you behind some really spectacular cliffs up in here. And you always wonder whether it's going to take you over that lump. You sort of wish it would, but also at the same time you wish it wouldn't. Time for the tunes, the Both Legs playlist to pump me along in that last 8 Ks. It's different country now. Still beautiful. Got about 8 k's to go, and I reckon I'm heading for that dip in the hills over there. That's the Ellery Creek, where it goes through the range, and on the other side of the range is the Ellery Creek Big Hole. That's where the other team are coming from the other way. Placing it out now. It's gone well today. But I'm looking forward to swimming. Let's hope they haven't pulled the plug out, or there's still water there. Otherwise I will be going crazy. There are those tents in the creek. That's where I want to be. All the misses. Like she said, let's go. Proof that I did it. And it is freezing. I realise I'm sacrificing my nuts for this, filming it. I may never be able to use them again. Start of day 8, I think. Leaving Ellery Creek North, heading to Rocky Gully, about 14-15 k's today. The next 2 days are going to be flat out sort of walking. Walking basically between the two ranges. So there's the Ellery Creek range there, but then I'm walking back to the range that's behind me there, which is about 30 k's away. So it'll be a little bit easier going, 15 k's a day, with the stop halfway through Rocky Gully. Pretty plain bush we're walking through today. Just a little scrubby stuff. Lots of finches still. Over there, that's where we've come from today. That's Ellery Creek. Just wound our way through the countryside. I said pretty same today. So this is my campsite at Rocky Gully. This is one of the more basic campsites. It's only really got a tank and a dunny with no toilet paper. Alright, day 9. Heading to Hugh Gorge today. About a 15k walk. Unless I feel particularly energetic, then I might work to Hugh Gorge Junction. So we're getting closer to that range back behind me there. So we're crossing across between the two ranges, and we're getting closer. Been a great day so far. Pleasant walking, good path. Come across about 8 or 9 people already this morning, so it's a bit of a highway coming the other way. A couple of singles, including one woman in her 60s, I reckon. So they're doing well. Hello, fella. Not sure at all. There is a horse. Through there. Someone said they'd seen a horse yet. Oh, it's down there. You can see them drinking out of the creek. So they must have dug. Here you go, you can see one digging into the sand. So they've dug down to the water. Now drinking out of there. I think maybe not approaching wild horses. Probably falls in the same category as don't fiddle around with snakes. This is Ghost Gum Flat. In a lovely little spot really. Just after that creek. A few campsites and a pad. Well, we're almost at the other side of the range. So I'm guessing it must be Hugh Gorge through there. This is the holes that the horses would have been digging up to get down into the water table, which wouldn't be very far below, I don't reckon. And suddenly we're across the other side of the range, and there's Larp. It's about 1 o'clock today, so I think I'll head on up this to Hugh Gorge Junction. Got into Hugh Gorge early, so I thought I'll carry on. So I'm heading to the junction. So it sounds like it's going to be a bit of more water here, so that should be cool. Salmon, but they're actually native fish in these waters. I mean, how good is that? So I'm walking from Hugh Gorge to Hugh Gorge Junction, and there's some fantastic rock pools in here, just stunning. The big reflection here, the afternoon light starting to hit that rock, so turning that real beautiful orange colour. So I'm glad I kept going on. It's a great time of the day to walk through here. It's beautiful and cool, and I'm feeling fortunate. So it looks like if I want to get my feet wet, or I don't want to get my feet wet, I'll take the path on the left there. Those ghost gums up there, they're the things I do not tire of seeing. Just the beautiful colour, so bright white, stuck against the orange quartzite. Just beautiful. Big challenge is how do you capture these landscapes, because they're so huge and beautiful. I think this must be a favourite spot for budgies to sit. Close to the Hugh Gorge Junction campsite. Just something different. A beautiful spot again. Budgie's going crazy. This is a crawl waterhole, very close to the end. It's too hard for me to lift myself up that side. It feels like I'm going to die on that side, so I have to walk through. Not the end of the world. It's actually very nice on the feet. Well, this is my tent for the night at Hugh Gorge Junction, I think. It's a lovely little spot in the creek. And these incredible cliffs behind us, glowing at night. And there's just one other couple just down there. They've just gone to get some water. Alright, so it's day 10, and I've just left Hugh Gorge Junction campsite, which is fantastic. Some nice people there. We had Tara and Chris from the Gold Coast, and Jack and Kia from Melbourne and Tasmania. Lovely spot, and much better than staying at Hugh Gorge, in my opinion. So that's the spot where yesterday we were. It's really surrounded by those amazing hills, which light up then in the late afternoon and then in the evening. So today heading to Birthday Junction and possibly on to Stewart's Pass. Don't think I'll get to Brinkley. I think I'll be too knackered, but see how we go. climbing out a fringe early. It seems okay. I think there's water down to the left down there. But I really enjoyed where I stayed last night. It was that amphitheatre style of it was very cool, I thought. So not disappointed I didn't get to Fringe Hilly. And there was actually water close to where we were too. So, you know, either spot would be a win-win, I think. That pass there is the pass above my campsite, so we were camped at the base of that big bluff. And obviously this morning we found our way down through and coming up another last big spiky hill before we head down into, I think it's Birthday Junction campsite where I'll pick up water. So that walk from that saddle down through that valley up this hill is all just to get to the top, I think, of this range. So we pass over the top of this range. Razorback Ridge. Up and down, up and down, up and down. It's supposed to be spectacular. That's why they call it Razorback, because you're walking along the spine of the range. This is part of the Razorback. It's going well. Beautiful day today. Just got a message from Michelle. Adelaide's going to lockdown tonight, so that's no good. No lockdown here, luckily. Got a steep one coming up here. Well, that's what you call a Razorback. Rolling right at the top. Video never really does this justice, but let's give it a crack. What could go wrong climbing with one hand? That'll do for content, I reckon. Tell you what, I did that on day 2 and that would kill me. Day 10 it was still hard work, but just got there slowly. It's just beautiful. Crack of a day. Very lucky. Getting out and about. Well, tick Razorback Ridge off the list. And that was pretty good. It's pretty good. Body's feeling strong today. I've just come down from the very top of that thing, scrambling all the way down what would be, I guess, a massive water course full of boulders and things. I reckon it took me longer to get down there than climb the bloody thing. It's a lovely gorge, this one. But I tell you what, it's hard work. It's just feels like calf to calf, just scrambling down over rocks, which is stretches your body, that's for sure. But past beautiful old cycads and the cold rocks again. Spencer Gorge, I curse the day you were born. Alright, heading off. Back quarter to 5 at night, just to go another 3.6 k's to see if I can get to Stewart's Pass, just to make tomorrow's day a little bit earlier. And look, I might be camped by myself, you never know. Tell you what, hiking this time of the day is actually very comfortable. No sun on you, and in this case we've got a nice flat track, so making good time for Stewart's Pass. We'll get there before it's dark. That should be good. Look at the colour on those hills. So it's day 11 today. Got up a bit early today. Got away at about 7:45, which is not early for proper hikers. They'd get up way earlier than that, but that's a start for me. Today I'm climbing Brinkley Bluff, which is that little sucker there. Very popular spot for people to camp. I've done 3 high camps this trip already, so I wasn't quite as stressed about getting there, although it should have spectacular 360-degree views. And that's the run down into Stanley Chasm, where I hope to get a schnitzel or a burger or something proper, and a shower and clean up and shave a bit. So good day hopefully. I reckon after this walk I might hire myself out to phone chat lines for heavy breathing sound effects. On that note, so that's where I camped this morning. So making my way up and to this impressive little knob up here, Brinkley Bluff. I've just got to the top of the saddle before Brinkley's. It always sucks a bit when you have to go down to somehow get back up there. Always feels like you're wasting energy. Need 2 ends. Oh, jeez. I climbed this one. A big shout out to Carol Dowden and her leg work all those years ago, pumping me hard. And Starplex Jim. You need some strong, slow twitch muscles on these hills. They're fairly brutal at times. But as I said, the contouring is excellent. They've done a great job. I think another YouTuber described as part of this track as a bit like the Inca's Trail. I'm not sure whether I've found the bit yet or not, or whether it gets worse. Brinkley's Bluff.
You say take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new.
I've chucked out so much gear to lighten my load on this Larapinta Trail. But tell you what, there's one piece of kit that I'd bring back every day. And that's this Indolenga chair. I think it's only about 4 or 5 ago, I can't remember, it doesn't really matter now. But it's been so good to sit down when you want to do your feet, or you just want to, I don't know, you just want to chill. And you just don't feel like sitting on a friggin' rock. So, thanks Indolenga, great effort.
That beauty lives in me too.
It's going to be nice this bit. It's going to be walking along that spine I reckon, all the way down to Stanley's Chasm.
It's gonna take some time to get
disappearing off into the distance.
I don't care. Take some time. I'm in for the fight.
Alright, I reckon about 4.5 k's away from Stanley's Chasm. Remember, we come in the back of the chasm and walk through it to get to the thing, so it'll be interesting to see whether my natural perfume wards off tourists as well as flies. 2.5 k's to Stanley. Those burgers are getting close. You can feel we're getting close to water too. Gum's back, birds back, so everyone's coming to life again. Some of these rocks are amazing. Tell you what, just when you think you've seen it all, you come through this green area again. The wattles are going bunter. And whatever this pink stuff is just beautiful. Ah, so it looks like we come in the main entrance of Stanley. And then we go back to Alice, we go out through the chasm. Huh. Day 12. I've just left Stanley Chasm. There may be a route, I think, through the chasm, but the official path seems to take you left up the hill before you get the Stanley Chasm, so I'll follow the current path, but it does look like on the map the two things join up further down the track. It's going to be 30 today, so need to get an earlier start, so we didn't do that at all. We had Eggs Benedict at the cafe. It's a bit windy, so you might not hear me. Over and out. Captain Dave down there, walking down. Getting closer. Alice Springs, 60 k's. Climbing out of Stanley, there's two, steepish climbs that you have to do to get up and over before you then take a longer walk down to Jay Creek. See how I'm feeling. I may actually then have a breather at Jay Creek and then try and crack on maybe for another 5 k's, which will just take off obviously 5 k's the following day. We'll see. This would be a cool little waterfall when it was raining. That's a tricky little one. Snake your way across and up. There, that was rather cool. I need rocks to catch you, of course. Hidden little rock pools. Still got water in them. Even though it's been a month or two since the rains. Wouldn't surprise me if this was permanent or spring. There you go. This is looking pretty fresh. Clean. High route, low route. 1 hour difference. What do you reckon? Low route. The lower trail has got this sort of creek bed walking. It's a bit stumbly but not big boulders, so if you want to avoid the high route, this is actually going not too bad. Another pond. Nice looking clear water there. We're heading up over that way. I'm getting closer to Jay Creek, only 2 k's away. And you can see we're getting closer and closer to the end of our track because the hills are starting to soften. Things are flattening out a bit more. So only a couple more days to go. So I think I'm going to have a rest at Jay Creek for a while and then have a look and see if there's any other camps within 3 to 5 k's, so I can just get a bit more of a head start on tomorrow. There's a big waterhole at Jay Creek. Look at that. Big. There's the harbour. Heading off for a late afternoon hike. Just hoping to get another 4Ks. Really windy and dusty at Jade Creek. It's probably windy and dusty everywhere really. But this gives me another 4Ks on tomorrow. So it's also much cooler now, so that's good. Made it to my campsite just for sundown, and that's what it's going to be just there. So I'll be all by myself, and it's going to be nice. Less dust up here actually, so that's good. Not much around. I wonder how close that little bastard was to me last night. Day 13. Heading to Simpson's Gap today. The pace of the track is much faster because it's a lot flatter. And you can feel we're getting close to Alice. This might be near that Spring Creek area, which they don't allow camping in, treating it as a natural game wildlife reserve, which is understandable. There's lots of other spots to camp on the track. But it's beautiful. I was just reflecting that some might consider this last couple of days heading back to Alice a bit of a anticlimax, but in many ways I almost feel like you're sort of easing yourself back into real life again, and the fact that you've still got little things of beauty to see along the way are incredible. They're not as vast and as grand as the inner parts of the walk, but they still are a great thing to see. So yeah, Spring Gap, no camping in that whole stretch. One of the good things about this ending on the Alice Springs end of the track being a lot more straightforward, you don't have to watch your feet as much. It actually gives you a chance to reflect and think a bit more, whereas the first part of the track I was more worried about breaking something, so you didn't have the ability to think in a thoughtful manner and work through things. So one thing I just reflected on then was that there's been a couple of instances where I've been walking from A to B, and it hasn't been time scale crucial, and then I've come across a beautiful little feature. So that Spring Gap would have been one, maybe the waterfall, waterhole, where I did pause and stop and take a few photos, but I probably then should have actually sat down and had my breakfast there rather than 2Ks further on where there's some boring camp. So that would be one reflection. Have a plan, but you don't have to be rigid about it. If you come across something that's really cool, just spend a bit of time soaking it in. Well, we're in the final stages now, section 1, and you can tell you're getting close to civilization. Cars. There we go, section 1. Well, we got 10Ks. I'm only going to load up another 2.5Ks tonight to something hat. Hang on, it's a ridge. Well, it's the closing hours of the 13th day. Got to Simpson's Gap. All the reports were mice were going crazy there at night, so I got there about 2, had a good rest for an hour and a half, and I'm now just walking only about 2 and a bit Ks up the hill to something like Hat Hill Saddle or something like that. That'll just knock off a bit of the climb tomorrow and just make tomorrow 22 Ks until I get to the final destination. And again, look, that late afternoon is really nice time to climb and walk. Not that you can see too much out there, but there you go. But it's almost at an end, and I'll be glad to get off it, believe me. But at the same time, when you've done it for 2 weeks, it sort of gets into you a bit, doesn't it? So hopefully I'll settle back into real life. My family and my work colleagues will make sure of that, I'm sure. Anyhow, see what the next camp's like. So this is my final campsite. Hat Top Bridge or something like that. It's going to be a lovely, beautiful night. Look at that over there. That's a cracker. And these beautiful golden hills. So I think I started the walk on a new moon, and now this is the last night, hopefully, legs allowing. I'm just wondering whether I might be getting a bit of a shin splint on my left leg, but yeah, and now we've got a full moon on our last night. Well, day 14, hopefully the last day. So we've got about a 23 hike into Alice over a couple of hills, and yeah, the body's feeling pretty good. Maybe a shin splint in the left foot, left leg, but all in all, pretty good, I reckon. So let's hope it goes well. Cheers. One of the things I've worked out I like doing is get an earlier start if I can. I'm not going crazy early, I'm still going 7:30, 8 o'clock, so for some people that would be very late. But I'll then have breakfast somewhere along the track, you know, maybe an hour or two into the track, so I'm using this stuff which I've pre-soaked. And then you just find a nice shady spot that seems good, and you know, sit down in your chair if you've got one, or a rock if you haven't, and it makes for a very pleasant start to the day. It means you get going a bit quicker too, so that's good. The old bloodwood trees. Got to mention in Midnight's old Beds of Burning song. Beautiful trees. Like the track saying farewell. Getting close now. And there she is, Alice. Place where I was born. Reminds me of the Stairway to Heaven, the very last climb by the look of it. Jeff Ross Bridge. It's been a long 10k so far this morning. Thank goodness, 1k to go. Got there last. Well, finally got there, finished. 24th of July, 3 p.m. Done the whole lot. Larapinta Trail end to end, west to east. No injuries, thank goodness. Let's go and find a drink.